Alright, so I posted a video earlier for the It Gets Better project. Didn't really introduce myself or anything like that, so I figured I'd start off with that and let you know a little bit about my background and my history. I am 24 years old, and I am a soldier in the U.S. Army, and I have been to Iraq twice. I've been to Afghanistan once. I was married for a little while, and I have two beautiful sons who I love, and my stepdaughter who I also love very, very much. Sometimes more than my sons, which is terrible to say, but it's the truth. Let's see, what else? Growing up, my family was, they were alright, well off. Not really well off, but we survived. I was raised by my mom, never my father, and we had a stepdad, but he was a fucking douchebag, so nobody really cared about him. My siblings include my three brothers and my half-sister, all who I'm very close with. My brother next in line in age, he'd be 28 now. He died when I was 14 years old, and it was a very rough time in my life. And I stopped going to school, and I had my first child when I was 16, and all of it was a stem of anger and all that other craziness towards all that. I was born and raised in Anderson, South Carolina, by my mother, who I love dearly. And let's see, I joined the military when I was 18. Try to get my shit back together and sort my life out the best way that I possibly could. So I joined up and went to basic over in Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri, and didn't really look back. I've been living in Georgia pretty much ever since. After I got out, I got stationed over at Fort Stewart, 3rd ID, 2nd Brigade, the Engineers, and deployed to Iraq in 07. Came back a little early, dealt with some problems with the family and all that stuff, and got out of active duty in 08. Moved back home for a couple months to South Carolina, and then moved right back on down to Savannah. Then my roommate who I was living with at the time, he got deployed again, and he got PCS'd over to Fort Leonard Wood as an instructor. So I moved to Statesboro with my friend and joined the Georgia National Guard, and a month and a half later I was sitting in Afghanistan with those guys. Came back and started doing full-time work with these guys, and I think October of last year, which was just a couple months ago, I took a private security contracting job with SOC, which is a company that's out there in Iraq, helping the soldiers out and all that stuff. And now I'm back here, and that's the brief synopsis of my life. So, yeah. Trying to think different things to chit chat about. I am bisexual, and that's been an interesting mix over the past years. Like, so many people, they ask me, they're like, so, do you're bi? Like, what, who do you swing more towards? They were like, it's like a 60-40 or a 70-30, and I'm like, no, it's straight 50-50. Like, I find either side attractive, either side. There's different qualities in the guys, and then there's different qualities in the females. But they all, I guess they all mesh out to 50-50. So, but yeah, it's been interesting. Like just some of the questions that people ask, and then like how people react to it, especially the females. They're just like, "Oh my god, you've been with a guy? What?" I'm like, "Yeah, so have you. What's your point?" Um, Guys don't really care too much. They just want to understand like how you can go both ways. And it's like, I don't know. How can you just be gay? Or how can you just be straight? I don't know. It's just who I am. Um, but I know, like, being bi, it's a little rougher than just being one or the other, because, like, you come out to your parents, but then you can bring a chick home, and they're like, well, blah, 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 so on and so forth. I thought you were this way, or you were this way. And then you got to deal with heat from both sides. And, like, I feel bad for all the younger groups growing up, like, now, and they're like I am. It's probably going to be a tough little ride for you. But your choices that you make and the people that you're around, they help to influence your life, and so on and so forth. I've made so many great friends that have helped me out through some of the roughest times in my life, and they're still here with me. There's some that have left. There's some I don't get to speak to as much as I would like to, but in the end, they're still my friends, and I love them to death, and all that good stuff. But yeah, I would like you guys to maybe post comments of different discussions and stuff that you'd like to hear. I'll be covering topics, whether it be related to gay people, straight people, it doesn't really matter. I'm just here to help, and if somebody's got questions, maybe I can help them out, something like that, from life experiences, because trust me, I've had plenty. And if you want to ask my perspective on things, like, being gay in the military, or being bi in the military, whatever you want to call it, or just stuff in general, if you guys wouldn't mind leaving me a comment, that would be awesome. So, alright, until next time, have a good one. Bye.